Hello everybody, this is Johnny S with another vlog. Today's vlog is, I'm very excited for today's vlog. Finally, I bought the boots that I wanted. I'm going to do this both in Greek and in English, but I'm starting with English since the channel has started in English. I hope you can hear me. I do apologize for the background. I'm in my room. I don't have, like I said, a studio, and because I want to showcase the boot and I want to talk a little bit about it, it's going to be a short vlog. I'm estimating around 10 minutes, not much more. It's just that I found this boot which is really good. I'm really excited. I've walked in the boot for around 1 or 2 days, so I have driven a little bit around. I was kind of keeping my excitement to share it with you. It's a very good boot here in Greece. I don't know if this brand is worldwide. I did try to do a little bit of research. I did see on some European countries, like I saw in Italy that they had this boot. I saw in some other countries, I saw in America that they had a boot, but where is it situated? I do not know. And if it's easy for you to get it, depending on where you are. So, just to give a little bit of a introduction before we get into the actual demonstration of the boot and talking about the boot, my perception, my how can I say, the need that I had was for a boot that is able to protect me, simultaneously be able to go on track if need be, simultaneously nothing super extreme in the sense of that you cannot wear it at work, so that it can be somehow camouflaged, let's say. So a lot of parameters, simultaneously being comfortable, simultaneously being this, being that, and it's very difficult for a good price and a good quality to find such a boot in the market. I was looking for many different ones. I had tried the Alpine Stars, the SMX 6, they were good boots. I had tried the lighter version, the SMX, if I'm saying it correctly, S. I had tried that, which don't have that much protections. They were comfortable boots, they were good boots, but like I said, the price was a little bit more expensive. You gain something, you lose something. Some of those boots, they were on the 200 something euro mark. You're not able to go into the track. So whenever you went towards the comfortability, you got less professionalism track-wise. Whenever you went towards the track, you got very uncomfortability for day-to-day, let's say, driving. So after researching a lot, and it's not just this brand, I did find some other ones. Oxford is another good company that I found, but out of all these ones, we're going to talk about the RST boot. I don't remember the name exact of the boot. I'll put it up on the description of the video. So let's begin with the showcase. Ta-da! This is the boot. This is the boot. So this is the boot, RST. It's full race. It's got all the protections. I hope you can see me. I might need to come closer. Okie dokie. So it's got all the protections on the side. You can bend the boot this way. You can also bend backwards, let's say. Not a lot backwards in this sense, because it's more of a protection thing, but it can go backwards. On this way, it bends a lot, if you can see. It's got full protection from this side and that side, so you can't really bend it. It's got the full plastic on here and the full plastic here. I'll try to centralize the screen. It's got the back protection. It's got the new protection at the back, which is full protected. It's got the steel insole, which means that it does not bend this way to avoid breakage that way. You can bend it this way, obviously, as you can see. Let me just tap the screen. I'm trying to watch myself as I'm doing this. And the remarkable thing about this boot, 180 euro. 180 euro if you're situated in Greece. There's a store called The Bikers. I don't have any promotion again, like I'm saying, but that's where I got it from. Now, what have I done to the boot? Actually, before we get into that, let me explain a little bit about the boot. So, what are you looking for on a race boot? You want to have protection on your shin, hard protection here, Okay, you want to have, as I mentioned, the side protection for anti-breaking your ankle this way. This has it perfectly. Okay, you want it to be as comfortable as possible so that you want it to bend in a sense. Okay, you want to have the protection for the gear change on the top so it doesn't abrade your boot. You want to have the outside sliders, so this is the metal component which as you might touch on the track days mostly. You want it to be as much protection as possible whilst being comfortable, and this boot is very comfortable. Like I said, I was wearing them in the house a little bit like a silly guy walking around the house. They're very comfortable. You will notice that you're wearing a boot when you're taking a step and your foot goes like this. This is where you notice that there's a little bit of restriction on the back component. But once your foot goes like that, then it becomes very comfortable. You're not even feeling it. When you're sitting down, the padding in the inside is very comfortable, so you don't feel anything around your feet here kind of tension your calf muscle, let's say. It's very soft, very nice. There is also a waterproof edition. I've got the one which is not waterproof. In general, you're not going to get very wet, let's say. And especially on my bike that I've got, let me put it down, on the R6 that I've got, because it's a super sport bike, I've noticed that due to the aerodynamics, water doesn't splash a lot from the bottom side. So I was not very keen on that. If you want to go for the waterproof version, it's an extra $20. So we're talking about 200 euro. Now, 200 euro for a full race boot that you can wear on a daily, be comfortable and get all the protection. Personally, I found nothing else. You can find more expensive boots and you can find less expensive boots. So this is a beautiful boot. Let me show you a little bit. Just spin it around slowly. Very nice texture, very nice writing. It comes in many different colors. It's got red, yellow, green, blue, whatever you want to call it. Red, black and white. I've got the full black. The full black meaning that it's got only a couple of text on white color. Red under the sole. It's got the heel here, which actually helps on the foot pegs. Very nice. When you're sitting with the ball of your foot on top of your pegs, it's very comfortable. It gives you more control of the bike when you're stepping on it. And that's why I said the steel insole that they have is not by luck. You know what I mean? You get nice sense of it. And surprisingly, the gear changes actually feel better than what I was expecting. The previous boot that I had bought a long time ago was the CD Vertigo, not 2, the older one, for 230, 240, 250, something like that. And I had less feeling of that boot. So this boot really surprised me. The fact that you can sense the gear change and also the brake, it was very interesting. I was not expecting that. Now, as far as getting into the boot, there is a big scratch component here. You got your zipper. So let me just showcase like that. It has a big place for your foot to go in. My size was 45 on normal wearing shoes, European 45. I think it's 11 in American size, if I'm not correct. And I tried the 45, which was good. But it was a little bit tight on the front section here. The CD boots, they're a lot tight here also. This boot was much comfortable here. But I thought, get one extra pair, and because it's very thin, it does not obstruct any of my movements when I do it on top of the bike. So it's a 46 size. I went one European size up, just for extra comfort on my sense. And also the guy that I bought it, he looked at my foot, he was pressing, because yeah, you're probably a little bit better on the 46 because the front of your foot is a little bit wider. So each one of you have to test it. I will say before you buy it, if you're going to order it online, I will suggest if you have a resale close to you to actually test it first, wear it, because with the sizes there might be a little bit of a difference. So as I said, you open, you put your foot there. There is no waterproof protection, but for 20 extra euro you can actually get it with waterproof. You zip the boot up like this. There is a Velcro which actually secures the zipper. You close it as such and you're good. So the zipper will not go outside from the boot, let's say. There is a couple of things which expand. As you can see, there's elastic section here. It's very, very comfortable. The top thing is very soft. I don't know if it can be seen. Very soft, very nice, very beautiful, and it's just perfect. I mean, yeah, I finally found the boot that I wanted. It does make a little bit of a sound, but I think that's gonna get broken into. But it's very, like, look at it. You know what I mean? It's very flexible and comfortable. For the amount of protection that it's offering, let me just. Alright, for the amount of protection it's offering, I could not believe it. I could not believe it that it was this comfortable. So RST is the brand. I'll have a look at the model of the boot and I'll put it up on the title. And yeah, I recommend it to everybody. And one last thing, we're on the 11-minute mark. What I did to make it a little bit more discreet without wrecking the boot, you don't have to go silly. What I did is, and I'm gonna do it on the other boot as well, but I just want to showcase it. What I did is I painted, you can get a special marker, which is for leather. I painted over the letters, the RST. I painted over this line, which came all the way down there. Okay, you can be seen. Not this text. Your pants, your trousers are going to go over and about there. This is where I have seen. I was wearing my work clothes and it comes around there. You know what I mean? Even down there it comes. You can't really see it. It becomes much more discreet. On the inside, this is already painted in, I don't know if it can be seen, the text is already black. The only thing that was white was the text on the zipper. So this text here, they were white. Let me open it up for you to see. So this is the Velcro that I was mentioning previously to secure it. This text was white and this showed a little bit. What I did is I painted those on black. So you don't have to destroy the color if you wanted to make it like that. You know what I mean? Like, look at the boot. Side by side. Okay? And on the outside, okay, so you don't have to destroy it. Also, I painted the text at the back. So there's a white RST. I painted those text also black there also. So it's much more discreet when you're wearing it. You do have the capability, let me just put this down, we'll use this one, which is the more discreet, like I said. You do have the capability to also take this out. I removed it just to see what it looks like, but it doesn't make much of a difference as far as hiding the boot, because there's an outside plastic component that becomes visible in any way. The other thing that you can do if you want is you can also paint this black. So you can be more like that, but it doesn't look too bad looking at it from the top like that. It's not as if it's way too outside. It kind of goes with the boot. You can also see it from the bottom side. There is a little bit of an edge, but you know, if you want, this is a darker color, but if you wanted, you could spray paint this if you wanted black as well. And I don't mind, you know, I don't consider this destroying the boot. Now, obviously, if you're going to get a red, a yellow, a blue, you can't paint the whole boot, you know what I mean? Unfortunately, I was going for as much black as possible, but you know, this is the blackest you can get. And the top parts, you don't need to paint over these ones, you don't need to cover them up. You know what I mean? And once you wear this boot, it becomes very, like somebody really has to stare at your shoe to actually notice that it's something else, you know what I mean? The only thing that might catch the eye is the metal component on that side. If you want that, you can remove it. Those are replaceable, and you're left with a much, let's say, finer finish with the black component inside. Or another idea that you can do if you want is you can paint it black. That's also a possibility. So that's it. That's for today's video. I'm really happy that I found something that I wanted, which was perfect for a reasonable price. 180 euros is just amazing to get a boot that you can actually wear on every day. Go for a coffee, go onto the track. That's a full racing boot. It's got full protection. You have your peace of mind that if something goes wrong, knock on wood, you got the protection that you need, and it's not restrictive. It's not restrictive. You know what I mean? Many boots, I don't want to speak bad about some brands, but there were some brands that I tested and I wore, and I actually told the guy, do you mind if I take for a ride? And because we got a friendly thing, he let me. They were many boots that I noticed, they were very restricted on the movement, meaning when you're on top of your foot pegs and you want to change on your left foot the gear upwards, that movement, that sort of break it movement to get your feet underneath and shift the gear upwards was a little bit difficult. You had to move your leg a little bit forward like that and kind of shift it. Whereas this one, I just push it like that, slip the foot in, click, click, and just change the gear. I was amazed on how easy that movement is. And because those boots, they do not allow you to go past this point in order to offer protection, the fact that I was able to actually, as I'm sitting on top of the foot peg, put the foot forward and actually do that and shift upwards, to me was amazing. I found no other boot that actually provided this much of movement with protection. So that's it. That's for the video. I wanted to share this with everybody. I recommend that brand. Just be aware a little bit on the sizes. You might need to go one size up. In my case, 45, the design line, let's say, is your proper size, like as far as the width goes. But I went one stage higher just because of the front. If you've got like a wider foot at the front, you might feel a little bit more comfortable going one size up. So that's about it. Another thing that we can mention is, on some cases, some people that have a much wider sort of on the ball on the back portion of the foot, there is also a slit here. I don't know if it can be seen. There is a slit right there where you can put like a knife inside and you can just cut it a little bit. There's an inseam inside here, and if you cut this, it allows, first of all, more air to go through, and second of all, it expands, let's say, this portion of the boot. And that's for some particular people that this part of their foot is more thick. In my case, I don't need that. It's very comfortable, but be aware that it has this also. And if you're going to go for the full waterproof, like I said, only €20 more. I did not want to go for it, and the guy told me that if you're going to go in the track and you got the waterproof, it's going to be difficult for you. And there's not huge difference. You're going to notice it if there's a lot of rain, if you're going to go through puddles. If that's the case, wear another waterproof like shoe, you know what I mean? In those cases, you will get, if you can see, there's a couple of holes here. On the full waterproof boot, these holes are not there. Okay. There's also a couple of air vents here, those do not exist. And on the inside here, there's a waterproof, and there's an in lining here, which provides waterproof. So yeah, RST, beautiful, beautiful boot, amazing, looks good, even on the black way that I did it. A guy was telling me, you're going to destroy your boot, you're going to destroy your boot. And then when I showed him, he goes, what did you do? That's the one. He goes, you can't even tell. Yeah, so yeah, you can camouflage it quite a bit. You know, think about having a pants up to here. I mean, okay, fair enough, you can see a little bit of plastics, but it can be quite discreet. Okay, guys, thank you very, very much. Finally, I got my boots, which cover everything: coffee, track, once we get to the track, ride, work, a little bit of everything. And that's it. That's as much for me. So this is Johnny S. I bid you goodbye. Have a good day. Bye-bye.